couldn't talk peace with me. They tried, and I was like, nigga, this schoolyard.
It's your boy Crypto Blood, and I want to introduce you guys to a new exchange, BitYard. They do cryptocurrency contracts. If you're like me, an active trader, you're probably sick of the market manipulations, forced liquidations, accurate Bitcoin reference rates over at BitYard with K-line weighted averages, no VPN hassle, available for U.S. citizens, and fully regulated in Singapore, Australia, Estonia, and the U.S. Profit losses are all in USD as well, and no fees with U.S. withdrawals. And most importantly, you can do deposits with fiat. Unlike BitMEX, you can't do that, right? So check out bityard.com. I'll leave a link in the description below. Yeah, it's your boy Crypto Blood, and welcome to another episode of My Two Satoshis. It is June 10th, 2020. Gotta give a shout out to my man Wire Sparks for another one. I've never even heard of this guy. Thundercat, Dragon Ball Durag. Like this, man. I really like this. Thanks for the song request, man. And hope everyone's doing well out there. Welcome to another episode. Today, someone spent $2.5 million on a Ethereum transaction. And guess what? The transaction was only $133. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. And we're going to look at what happened and see if there's anything that can be done about this. Can this be reversed? I'll let you guys know an update to this story here on this episode. Also, Voice launching July 4th. That's Voice.com. That is the Block.one project they've been working on that's launching on EOS.io. Looks like they're coming out of beta and going live on July 4th. We'll read up on the article out of EOS Writer about this. You know, I have my two Satoshis on the Voice.com platform. I'll explain here in a second as well. And lastly, we're just going to talk about what's going on with the Fed. You know, today is Wednesday. FOMC meeting notes are out. And yes, the Fed looks like they're going to keep interest rates near zero all the way into 2022. Yikes. That means buying Bitcoin and cryptos and using those DeFi services and getting your interest rates off that hard-earned money is more important than ever. For all of you that are watching, you got to get into the whole staking your coins. There are so many platforms. I personally use crypto.com, but there are so many. BlockFi. I mean, the list goes on and on. Celsius, that's another one. So check into those. But banks will be dead if they don't start increasing these rates. See, the misconception is that people think that zero interest rates or negative interest rates are great for banks. They're not great for banks. They hate negative interest rates. If we go negative, the banks are done. The day the Federal Reserve says they're going negative, you should be shorting bank stocks. I mean, I'm just saying, I'm not trying to give you financial advice, but the Fed is also saying that GDP will bounce back to 5% next year. How can we bounce back to 5% when we have the third straight day of record coronavirus hospitalizations in Texas? This virus has not gone anywhere, despite the riots, despite all the political back and forth. The virus is still here. So until that vaccine gets into your veins, not mine, you probably won't see the economy bouncing back anytime soon. But hey, that's my two Satoshis on it. But before we start, if you guys find these types of videos informative, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and click that bell to receive more videos like this. And while I've got your attention, I want to let you know about DudeX, the new promo that I got going on with them. I tailor-made this for you guys, all my subscribers. You just have to be subscribed to my channel and use the link in the description below. And what you will get an opportunity to do is win 50 USDT tokens every 2 weeks. I'm doing a drawing. Whoever has the highest volume in trading, you will win. So get over to dudex.com. Actually, use the link in the description below. Sign up and enter to win. That's all you have to do. Be a subscriber, sign up, and I'll make an announcement every 2 weeks. So stay tuned and look out for the next winner. Check them out. Link in the description below. Speaking of crypto.com, don't forget that 0% credit card fee. Yes, you can buy cryptos basically with no transaction fee over at crypto.com. Use the link in the description below and you'll get an additional 50 MCO tokens when you buy more than $200-300 worth of crypto. But again, no fee. So do that now. I'm not sure when it ends, but use the link in the description below and set your account up today. So let's take a look at this Voice.com launch. Yes, it's July 4th. Looks like it's going to be the day. It's becoming clear each day. They say that we deserve better social media platforms that aren't looking to censor people's voice in favor of their own. Seeing people respond with criticism towards YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and even Amazon's censoring of content regarding topics that closely affect us is an outcry for change. Voice.com, it says, is going to be giving people back their control over their own data and empowering them to own their own voice without fear of being censored. Social media giants get to decide which voices need to be heard and which ones should be sidelined. So Voice's CEO recently wrote a short post on Voice discussing how content moderation on Snap, Twitter, and Facebook is failing, while also recognizing that moderating diverse forms of speech, from the completely illegal content to the borderline, possibly unlawful content, is not always as easy as it looks. And faced with the challenge of moderating borderline content, he raises the question, who should be making that judgment call? He says, here's a crazy idea. Why not let the people decide, empowering them, architect a platform to eradicate bots by verifying identities, eliminate targeted propaganda, by protecting your personal data, and prevent political corruption by organizing communities that have the tools to effectively self-govern. Salah, the CEO, also states that it's too late for Facebook and co. to make these changes, even if they wanted to. A statement that holds true when considering that all the platforms of social media giants are fundamentally flawed because each is designed to exploit users for attention and financial gain. He says our only alternative is to build a new social media that puts its members above all else. And so then he goes on to announce in this post that on July 4th, they will set Voice free on the world. Their journey begins there. And so, of course, we know that Independence Day is July 4th in the United States, which plays in well with what Voice is trying to accomplish for the global population, blah, 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 blah. So look, I actually got an invite to Voice beta, maybe about 2 months ago at this point, 2 months ago. And I declined because, you know, I don't agree with how they're trying to eliminate bots, fake posts, and fake news. Basically, they're trying to do it in a manner where they're doing KYC for every individual, and you must use your real name while on the platform. That's not an inviting, safe place for individuals to voice their opinion, because there's still repercussions for many of the opinions that you may have. Some people may not want to use their real name and their real picture when they post something in fear of retaliation or whatever the case may be. So I don't agree with how they're going about it, especially with, I know, the capabilities of EOS.io. You can implement biometrics into the platform, into the protocol is already built for that. So that means when you sign up for a Voice.com account or any other dApp, you can use maybe your fingerprint. At some point, maybe there will be hardware made where you can do eye retina scans. That way we know that particular account is for that particular person. I think that's a better way, and maybe, hopefully, I'm being optimistic here, hopefully they iterate and pivot toward that direction, because I don't see Voice ever becoming popular enough to take on a Facebook or a Twitter or whatnot, the route they're going, KYC and all of that. I'm sorry, that's not a decentralized way of fixing the situation at all, because that's a point of failure. You know, that KYC information is housed somewhere in a central location. So to me, I'm still 2 thumbs down for Voice. We'll have to see what happens as they roll out and maybe iterate and pivot. But you guys let me know your thoughts about Voice. I was really excited about it when they first announced Voice, but now not so much. But still excited about EOS, the blockchain. That Voice is not EOS. That's why I hear people saying, oh, you still like EOS? Yes, I'm still a fan of EOS, even a bigger fan of Telos. They're running EOS.io. That's really the protocol that I'm excited about. So EOS.io is still, to me, one of the best blockchains for dApps currently out there. And Telos is a prime example of that. They're really making moves. You guys got to get yourselves involved in that Telos community. But yeah, Voice.com launching July 4th. We'll see what happens with that. And again, I want to just reiterate, the Fed sees interest rates staying low or near zero through 2022. That's essentially a negative interest rate, even if it's not an official negative interest rate, because you have inflation. So if we're at zero, then inflation, you got to subtract that from the interest rate. You're really in the negative territory when you take into account inflation. And inflation is much higher than what they're saying. I think they have it at like 2% or something around there. It's way higher than that for most goods and services that we use on a daily basis. So this is a good setup for all of those staking and slash DeFi platforms out there. You're not going to get any interest on your money leaving it in the bank account anymore. Those days are done. Okay, go ahead. You can put your money in stock market and gamble there if you would like, but let me tell you, that is a recipe for disaster. The stock market, it's just at all-time highs when you look at it from a valuation perspective. NASDAQ is actually priced all-time high, and the Dow is way over where we were from a valuation standpoint back in February. And that brings me to CoinMarketCap's interest page. That's interest.coinmarketcap.com. Check it out. And this will give you the top platforms where you can earn interest on your cryptos. Here they are. BitTrue is number one at 10% on your money. I haven't used BitTrue at all, but here's a list. I'll make sure I link this in the description of this video so you guys can check it out. Celsius is here. Block.one, of course, crypto.com. They've got a number of durations for you, 30-day, flexible, and 90-day as well. But you've got a lot of platforms that's giving you way more than you'll ever get in a bank account or a CD at that. And you can go through each of these coins to see which ones have the best for you. So great tool, interest.coinmarketcap.com. Check it out when you get a chance. But let's take a look at this last article. God, Decrypt Media, someone just made a $2.6 million mistake on Ethereum. In the process of sending $130 over the Ethereum blockchain, someone accidentally paid $2.6 million in fees. The mining pool received the $2.6 million in the form of a transaction fee. It seems like it was an accident. That's a fee of 2 million%. This is the most anyone has ever paid for a transaction of any amount on Ethereum. The transaction that was made just hours ago included a transfer of 0.55 Ethereum to an address provided by cryptocurrency exchange BitThumb, while 10,668 Ethereum was provided as a fee to the miners. The transaction was mined by Spark Pool, one of the largest Ethereum mining pools in current operation. The $2.6 million transaction fee has since been sent to Spark Pool's Ethereum address, where it's distributed funds to its wide array of miners. It goes on to say that there is little known about the person who sent the transaction paying such a large fee. Previously, their account has sent a number of payments to crypto exchange BitThumb, but that's about it. So if you guys don't understand, you can control the amount of gas you use to get your transaction across the network. The more money you spend on the gas, the higher the priority for your transaction. Hence, it gets through the network faster. And there are a number of potential reasons why this excessive fee might have occurred. Arguably, the simplest and most likely reason is that this unfortunate individual intended to send $2.6 million in ETH with $100 worth of fees, but accidentally switched the two fields. But there are a few puzzling factors. For one, the transaction was added to the block first. Generally, transactions are added to the block in order of their gas price, which would make sense in this case, but the other transactions in the block are not ordered by gas price. This would suggest that the transaction was created by someone at Spark Pool and deliberately included in the block. The other strange factor is that someone who sent the transaction always used a gas price of 60 gwei for its other transactions, except this time it changed the gas price to 500 million gwei. This suggests that someone altered it for some unknown reason. So you might ask, what happens now? Well, Spark Pool, the mining pool that actually found the block for this transaction, has frozen it. So it says Ethereum miner says it has frozen the $2.5 million fee paid alongside a $133 transaction. Ethereum mining pool Spark Pool says it has frozen the $2.5 million in transaction fees associated with the mysterious transaction in which someone only sent $133 worth of Ethereum. A representative over at Spark Pool told the block that the pool is waiting for the sender to reach out in order to find a solution. Some observers have drawn a connection between the high fee transaction and BitThumb, a major South Korean exchange. So we'll see what happens. I don't know how you even get in contact with them. Maybe sign another transaction with something. I don't know. They'll figure it out. Hopefully that person, if he made a mistake, he can get his funds back from that transaction. That's crazy though. That is absolutely crazy. Let me know how you feel about that. That is insane. Let me know if you've ever made that mistake, either sending funds to the wrong address or spending too much money on your transaction. Normally that's something that's a little bit more advanced. Typically don't get a chance to control the gas amount when you're using some of those more consumer facing platforms. But hey, It is what it is. Shout out to my man Wired Sparks for that song request. Thundercat, Dragon Ball, Do-Rag. And if you guys found this video informative, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And click that bell to receive more videos like this. I'm out of here, people. Holla!